Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, and today we're diving into some of the most significant news stories shaping our nation and the world. From tragic violence in Louisiana to high-stakes international diplomacy, major political developments, and corporate shakeups, we've got a lot to cover. So stick with us as we break down today's most important stories with the depth and context you deserve. Breaking news from Louisiana: a mass shooting at the Mall of Louisiana has left one person dead and several others injured after multiple gunmen opened fire in a crowded shopping area. Governor Jeff Landry confirmed the incident, stating he remained in close contact with law enforcement as the situation unfolded. Senator Bill Cassidy praised the rapid response from Baton Rouge police, while Attorney General Liz Morrill confirmed casualties and clarified that initial reports were incorrect. Several innocent bystanders were indeed struck. Officials emphasized how chaotic these situations are, with facts changing in real time. Morrill highlighted a troubling reality: no one should risk their life while simply shopping, yet such incidents are becoming increasingly common. Authorities acted quickly, likely preventing further loss of life. However, this tragedy reflects a broader pattern of rising mass shootings across the U.S., leaving lasting fear and trauma in everyday public spaces. We now shift our focus to the Middle East, where tensions remain extraordinarily high on multiple fronts. Two major developments are unfolding simultaneously. First, there's a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon, and second, there's escalating military posturing in one of the world's most critical waterways. These two stories paint a complex picture of a region in flux. This afternoon, significant news emerged from the Middle East regarding the conflict between Israel and Lebanon. According to reports from multiple news outlets, including Al Jazeera, The Guardian, and The Washington Post, there has been an extension of a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon. This is a development that many observers see as potentially reducing immediate escalation risks in that theater. President Trump has commented on the situation, characterizing the ceasefire extension as having been extended by 3 weeks. According to Trump's statement, he has indicated that time is not on Tehran's side, a reference to Iran, which supports Hezbollah in Lebanon. This statement reflects the Trump administration's position that Iran is being isolated and weakened by international circumstances. Whether that assessment is accurate remains a matter of debate among foreign policy experts. The markets have reacted with some uncertainty to these developments. Stock futures have traded mixed following Trump's announcement of the 3-week extension. This mixed reaction suggests that investors are cautiously optimistic about the ceasefire but remain concerned about the broader geopolitical picture and the possibility of future escalations. The Israel-Lebanon border has long been a flashpoint for regional tensions. Hezbollah, designated as a terrorist organization by the United States but functioning as a political and social organization in Lebanon, has been in conflict with Israel for decades. Any ceasefire in this region is significant because it suggests the possibility of de-escalation, at least temporarily. The people living in these border regions have endured decades of intermittent violence, and any pause in the fighting provides relief and a chance for families to rebuild. However, it's crucial to note that a 3-week extension is temporary by nature. The underlying issues that drive the conflict remain unresolved. Territorial disputes, proxy warfare, and Iran's regional ambitions haven't gone away. They're simply in a temporary holding pattern. This ceasefire provides a window of opportunity for diplomacy, but there's no guarantee it will lead to a lasting peace. While there's a temporary pause in the Israel-Lebanon situation, tensions are escalating sharply in another critical region. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most important maritime choke points, and developments there could have global consequences. In a striking development, President Trump has issued orders to the U.S. military to take aggressive action against small Iranian boats in the Strait of Hormuz. According to multiple news sources, including CNN, PBS, and CNBC, Trump has ordered the Navy to shoot and kill any Iranian boats that are laying mines in the strategic waterway. This is extraordinarily strong language and represents a significant escalation in military rhetoric and posturing. Trump has also claimed that the United States has total control over the Strait of Hormuz following reports that Iran has seized 2 container ships in the region. These claims about control underscore the competition for dominance in this critical waterway when military forces begin using language about shooting and killing potential adversaries. We're moving into territory where accidents, miscalculations, or misidentifications could trigger larger conflicts. The Strait of Hormuz is absolutely critical to global commerce and energy security. Roughly 20 to 30% of the world's petroleum passes through this narrow waterway between Iran and Oman. Any disruption to shipping in this region has immediate consequences for global oil prices and the global economy. If the strait were to be closed or significantly disrupted, the economic repercussions would be felt from Tokyo to New York. Iran's seizure of container ships suggests that Iran is trying to assert control and respond to what it perceives as American threats and economic sanctions. The mine-laying that Trump references is particularly concerning because it threatens freedom of navigation, a principle that the United States has historically championed and protected. This creates a standoff where both sides feel justified in their actions, but where miscalculation could be catastrophic. A single incident in the Strait of Hormuz could rapidly escalate into a much broader military confrontation. This situation demands careful diplomatic engagement, clear rules of engagement to prevent accidents, and communication channels between the U.S. and Iran to prevent misunderstandings. The stakes couldn't be higher, both for regional security and for global economic stability. Every tanker passing through carries not just cargo, but the hopes and economic security of millions of people around the world. Let's now turn to domestic political developments that could have significant impacts on American business and democracy. The first story involves a struggling airline and a controversial proposal for government intervention. According to reports from CNN, CNBC, and NBC News, the U.S. government is considering taking an equity stake in Spirit Airlines. This would effectively amount to a government takeover or significant intervention in the struggling airline. President Trump has confirmed that he is weighing a taxpayer takeover of Spirit Airlines for the right price. This statement indicates that the Trump administration is exploring whether the federal government should directly own or control the airline. Spirit Airlines has been struggling financially for some time. The airline, known for its ultra-low-cost model, faces significant cash flow challenges that threaten its continued operation. According to a Spirit Airlines lawyer quoted in the news reports, cash is not going to last for very much longer. This suggests the airline faces an imminent financial crisis and may not survive without intervention. This proposal has generated significant concern among Republican officials and observers. Big-name Republicans are balking at the idea of Trump taking a stake in Spirit Airlines. This resistance raises important questions about government involvement in private business and the proper role of federal intervention in the economy. In another significant domestic political development, a Virginia court has blocked a redistricting plan following a narrow vote. This situation reveals ongoing tensions around gerrymandering and democratic representation in America. A Virginia judge has blocked the state from using new congressional maps just one day after a redistricting vote passed by an extremely narrow margin. This legal intervention suggests that the court found constitutional or legal problems with the redistricting plan. The timing of this decision, coming so quickly after the vote, indicates the court acted with urgency. According to Politico, the White House is exasperated with GOP over Virginia election faceplant. This statement indicates that the Trump administration is frustrated with how Republican officials have handled the redistricting situation in Virginia. The administration apparently had hopes for a particular outcome, and the court's intervention blocked those hopes. Redistricting is one of the most politically sensitive and consequential processes in American democracy. When legislative districts are drawn, they essentially determine which party will likely win which seats, often for the next decade. The party in power during redistricting has a chance to cement its advantage for years to come. This is why these battles are fought so intensely. Gerrymandering, the practice of drawing district lines to advantage one party, is one of the most criticized practices in American politics. It undermines the principle of fair representation and can dilute the voting power of certain populations. When courts intervene to block redistricting plans, it's typically because the courts believe the maps are unconstitutional or improperly gerrymandered. The fact that the Trump administration is expressing frustration with how this played out suggests that Republicans may have overreached in their redistricting efforts. The courts caught what they believed was partisan excess and acted to prevent it. This case demonstrates that even in an era of strong partisan polarization, courts can still serve as a check on partisan excess. However, the narrow nature of the original vote suggests that redistricting remains deeply contested and politically significant. So there you have it, a comprehensive overview of today's most important news stories. We've covered tragedy and violence in Louisiana, international diplomacy and tensions in the Middle East, government intervention in the airline industry, battles over redistricting in Virginia, diplomatic tensions with India, and a heartwarming reminder of human compassion in Australia. Each of these stories deserves serious attention and ongoing coverage. They affect our safety, our economy, our democracy, and our place in the world. News doesn't exist in isolation. Today's ceasefire in Lebanon could break down tomorrow. Today's airline bailout could set precedent for future interventions. Today's court ruling on redistricting could be appealed and overturned. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for in-depth coverage of today's most important stories. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on any of these developments. I read all of them and value your perspective. Your voice matters, and I want to hear what you think about these stories. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with more detailed analysis of the stories that matter. Stay informed, stay engaged, and take care.